Hello everyone, this is me Raksha Gautam. Today we are going to make a relational schema from the given ER diagram. The given ER diagram is from the Jaigi retail. So over here we can see we have 8 different entity, that is reason, store, sales transaction, product, vendor, category and customer. So and each entity has different attributes. So let's make the table first for the entity. So I made the eight table for our 8 entity over here. So let's start with the reason first. So reason has the primary key as a reason ID, and its attribute is reason name. As a reason is connected to this store by one-to-many relation, here is another table for this store. And as a primary, so store ID will be a primary key for the store, and store zip is another attributes. So as we can see, reason is connected to store, and we can see like every reason has this store. So over here, reasonal ID would be the foreign key for the store. So it should be connected with the primary key of the reason. So store is, and here in the ER diagram, store is connected to cell transaction from one-to-many relation. So here is the table for cell transaction. And its primary key would be TID. Entry dates is its attributes. So as in every store there will be a cell transaction. So store ID would be the foreign key for the cell transaction. So it should be connected to store ID is the foreign key for the send transaction. So it should be connected to the primary key of the store ID. So next we have, let me put this a bit bottom over here, and let me make one. Okay. And also the sell transaction is connected to customer from let me cut this. So over here, sell transaction is connected to customer from and has a many to one relation. So here is a table for customer. So here customer ID would be its primary key. And its attribute would be customer name and customer JIP. Customer name, and we have a customer JIP as its attribute from customer. So over here, so every sell transaction consists of a customer ID. So here customer ID would be a foreign key for sell transaction. So okay, and let me cut this as we don't need that row. So we are done with the reason, store, sell transaction, and then customer. So as in the figure here, we can see the sell transaction is also connected with the includes and product. It has many to many relation. So here is a table for includes. It do not have any unique ID or primary key. So it has the product but over here as includes also consists of the TID. So over here TID would act as a foreign key for includes. Next we have the product. Let's work for the product. Over here it has the unique ID, that is a primary key. Product ID would be the primary key for the product, and its attribute is product price. Product price and product name. Product ID would be primary key, product price, product name would be its attribute. So over here, includes also consists of a product ID. So let me just remove this for a second. Here, the product ID will act as a foreign key. Product ID will act as a foreign key for include. So let's do this. And also TID would act as a foreign key, as includes consists both the product ID and the TID. So okay. And quantity is attributes. Okay, I think we don't need this, so let me remove this. Okay, so now product is also connected with the vendor, so it has many-to-one relation with the vendor. So let's consider this table for vendor. Okay, and vendor ID. Vendor ID would be its primary key, and vendor name is its attribute. Okay. So as product also contains the information about the vendor, so here vendor ID will act as a foreign key. So here vendor ID will act as a foreign key for the product. Okay. As we can see over here, product is also connected with the category. It has many to one relations, so here is a table for category. And it has category ID as a primary key, and category name as this attribute. So product has also the information about the category. So over here, category also, over here category ID will also act as a foreign key for the product. Okay. And let's connect this with the okay. So we have got the vendor ID and category ID as a foreign key for a product, which we connect this to the primary key over here. Let me delete this row because I think we don't need that. Okay, and we also don't need this. Okay. Okay, so like this we build our relational schema for all our entities. So here is the reason, and here is a store which has the foreign key as our reason ID. This is connected with this, and so this is how we build our relational schema. So I think, yeah, thank you.